Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J, y'all. We back live from our break taken a minute ago, as I mentioned in that previous segment, as I set it up, as I teased it. Of course, we got my sister, the dating pool Diva, up in here getting ready to do what we have her do every single month. She comes in on the fourth Monday, and of course, she always makes sure that I play her song. I got to play her song. Got to play her Diva song. And whatnot.
It needs to be on video.
It is on video. You see the cameraman over there.
She wasn't paying attention.
She doing a little twerkations and stuff. So, so I don't know if that's the right word, but dating pool Diva, it's time for you to get into the Diva Diaries, my sister. What you got?
I'm ready.
You ready?
I got
All right, let's do
few
it.
things I want to talk about.
Okay.
First off, I wanted to discuss, the Love Revolution forum that we had on the third Saturday of the month, January. And, February was our most recent one. And we talked about emotional intimacy. We talked about, what does it mean to each person. We had people basically go around the room and share, what the word meant to them. So I wanted to see if we could do that here, if you guys could just tell me, when you hear the word intimacy, what's the first thing that comes to mind? So I'm going to start with Mr. Carlton Banks.
Intimacy. Intimacy. That's a good question. Well, if you really want to get that deep into it, it's the act of being in love and doing what you can with and for your partner, and not knowing what else is going to happen. It's just all about being in the moment of that event. Because again, it doesn't mean sex. It doesn't mean kissing. Something as far as holding a person's hand can be intimate. So it's not all about sex. It could be just about anything, and it's all about that moment.
That's a little bit different than what you told me maybe a couple months ago when we talked about intimacy.
Because he done been coached.
Yeah, I have a pretty good memory now.
He done been
You've been coached on the right thing to say now.
You're going to have to refresh me on that conversation. You asked me about general topic.
You want me to refresh you?
And you're going to have to refresh that. Replay the tape.
Hey,
Show me the
look,
tape.
man.
Yeah.
You say play the tape like I got
Play
the
the
tape
tape.
from
Play the tape.
2 months ago, whenever
Shut
it
up and
was.
play the tape.
Oh, man. Hey, look,
Cut
man.
your mic off.
That's
The
between
tape-
you and her.
the
It
tape
ain't
is
got
right
nothing to do with
here.
me.
I don't remember that
right
conversation.
here.
Yeah, of course you do.
I don't.
Okay.
Play the tape,
How you going to sit there and instigate?
Of course I'm instigate. That's what I
That's what he
do.
do.
I know. A little bully.
Don't look over here.
It is what it is.
Don King.
Do you remember that show where we talked
Nah,
about
I don't remember that
intimacy?
show.
I remember, not
I want
specifically,
you to
but I
refresh
do
us,
know that my brother Carlton Banks, who I've known forever, very rarely will open up like he did just now.
Right.
Like just now, he showed
I don't
us
know
a
what you're
little.
talking about.
He showed us a little piece of this. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, see, he hid from
know
the
what we
camera.
talking
Yeah,
about.
he showed us a little
I don't know
bit of a
what you're
piece
talking
of himself, and I'm proud of him for it because normally he likes to hide behind humor,
I
but
deny
this
all
time
of
he
that.
kept it real. So
No, I
Yeah.
did not.
Did he
I
keep
deny
it real?
everything.
he's
Just now?
a little bit, a little bit real.
Kind of really take.
Okay. Well, from my memory of the show where we talked about intimacy,
Right to his head.
intimacy to him was more a physical act. How you get close sexually with your partner. And it's kind of like everybody else in the room was on the other side of the
He
fence. But-
specifically made a point just now to eliminate sex specifically
Yeah.
from
I deny that.
intimacy. Oh
Isn't
my
that
gosh, you
interesting?
see him over
Can't
there
hear it.
sweating?
I'm sorry. What you said?
He over there sweating.
But we can move on. We don't want to make
Out
it
of here.
too
He
hot
closed
over
the door
there.
here. See?
Yeah.
I told him not to close the door. He closed the door. Well, I hope that's on tape.
Okay.
Look at him sweating.
All right,
I ain't
Miss
sweating yet.
Tony, I want your opinion on this.
If Carlton would give her the mic.
So is it? I will kick you in your mic. So is it emotional intimacy or just intimacy?
Just the word intimacy. I don't
Just
want to buy into anything here.
So
He asked for that though.
Yeah, I mean, intimacy is, I will have to piggyback a little bit on what Carlton said. Yeah, it's that mental and spiritual connection you have with someone.
Right.
It's, to me, some of it's a little bit has to be physical, because for me, I can't have that connection with you unless I'm physically attracted to you. So I think that is what like differentiates between like, you know, you and your friend, just strictly friend, who have a certain bond, from your mate with whom you have an emotional, spiritual, and physical connection.
Right. Okay. So it's a dynamic of a few different components.
Yeah.
Spiritual, emotional, and physical.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Miss S.Y., what do you think
About what?
about intimacy? When you think of
wanted
the
to be
word
asked a question.
intimacy, what comes to mind?
Actually, I kind of agree somewhat with both of them.
Mm-hmm.
It is, for me, it's a comfort in mind and body, where you feel like anything you do with that person. So again, it can be anything, whether it's holding hands or just talking, or it can be some sort of act where there is some type of, there's just this comfort level, and it's comforting.
I like the comfort.
It just feels like that.
Okay. Mr. Marcus J.
Yeah, that's why I stole a little bit of my thunder there. I definitely like the yes. Stole a little bit of thunder because of the closeness that you feel with someone that you like more than just like. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it has to do with chemistry. You know, people don't always like to, you know, give chemistry and dopamine and pheromones, all of those things, the validity that I think that they deserve, you know, but I think that it's real. I mean, oftentimes you find yourself in the room with someone and it's like you can feel them even though they're not touching you. You know what I mean? Like when you look at them and they quick glance at you, and then you get this feeling that comes over you.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like when you can have a conversation without saying a word with someone that's across the room, there's no greater intimacy than that. And like what Tony mentioned earlier, when you have that kind of feeling with someone that you're attracted to, that's even better. Not necessarily attracted to because you want to have sex with them. I mean, ultimately, let's be real. I mean, we're all adults here. It's going to be some of that going down at some point. But you want it to be more than that, you know. And ladies, and I'm going to take some heat for the next comment, but I don't really care.
Are you getting crass?
No, I'm not going to get crass. You see me stuttering because I'm cleaning it up in my head before
You don't
I
really
actually
care?
say it.
Oh, you
Nah,
care.
nah,
That's why you're
nah.
cleaning it up
Well,
in your
actually,
head.
I do care, because what I was going to say is, ladies, if he is upset that you're mad at him, then you got something to work with. You got something to work with. If you mad at him and he cares that you mad at him, you got something to work with. If he don't care that you mad, then
That's your business.
then you know, I mean, now the way he goes about sharing that with you varies from guy to guy. You know, you kind of got to know your guy. You know, he may kind of carry a level of arrogance that will act like he not caring that you mad, but you got to know your guy. If he cares that you mad, there's a level of intimacy there that can be worked with.
Absolutely.
I would agree with that. I think my perspective when I think intimacy is always emotional first. That emotional and that spiritual connection with the person. Yes, sex is important, the physical component is important, but I think really it doesn't even matter that much in a relationship dynamic if you don't have that emotional level there first. You know, so I think that's what intimacy is that connection that you have with another person. And we talked about this, I think it was October or November Love Revolution, where we talked about soulmates and the connection that you can have with another person or several people is basically on that level of connection that we're talking about. All right, so following up on that particular topic, I want to ask a specific question. If a person you are seeing is emotionally unavailable, should you wait for them to become more available later or move on? So I'm going to go the other side of the room, Ms. S.Y. What do you think? If a person's emotionally unavailable, should you wait for them to become available or just keep it moving?
It's like therapy, y'all. It's like group therapy.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
like
The
when we do
couch.
this, because it really does. It's like group therapy because you
I'm
know
touching
it's
something.
5 of us in this room at different stages of relationships and things of that sort, and the question that you ask, the questions that you always ask, you know, may be a question that someone else may have had, which is what I'm guessing how you got a lot of, you know, the material for, you know, the Love Revolution and the other things that we do. So when I saw you pause, I was like, yeah, here we go. Here goes the group therapy session, which is what we do in the
Are
Love
you
Revolution, which is the
comfortable
reason why I
over
love
there?
this so
Okay,
much. Yeah,
okay. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
I'm fine. You know, that can cause a problem. That can cause a serious problem in with you and your partner. It's going to depend on how long. For me, I think it would depend on how long I'm in this relationship.
Right.
If I've been in this relationship, maybe something's going on that emotionally he is just not there. And
Right.
maybe that's some understanding on my part, depending on what this problem is. If it's a relationship that I just stepped into and emotionally I can't get you to communicate with me, then I'm most likely going to either confront you about it and we can make a change about it. We can talk about it. If it's not that important to you and this is the way you are and this is the way I feel, then I'm going to keep it moving.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. What do you think, Miss Tony?
I mean, I agree with her kind of, but I think to some extent you need to have some resistance because I am kind of leery of someone who just puts it all out there up front.
Right.
Like, I need you to hold back a little something because I'm going to hold back something. So if somebody's like, you know, of course I want that honesty, but I want you to be reserved because, you know, I take my life and my relationships seriously.
Right.
So, you know, depending what your goal is, and at this point in my life, you know, not to say that my goal is to be married, but, you know, I'm just not here just so we can go have dinner and hang out and laugh. I could do that with my friends.
Right.
But for where I would like to be in a relationship, ultimately, I need you to be serious about it. So I want you to think about it. I want you to make sure that this is what you want. I'm what you want, and vice versa. And we can build together and become more comfortable with each other, you know, and go from there.
We
As
getting a
time
hit in
goes
social
by.
media. Yeah, we getting a hit in social media. Michelle K is saying that she agrees essentially with USY. So just wanted to share that.
Yes. Love Revolution represent.
Yeah, man. I'm glad.
On
I'm glad we
Facebook.
got the Love Resolution people who's holding us down here on Ain't No How Step on Marcus J. Live from the den here, LegacyInternetRadio.com. Time is 5 minutes after 9. We appreciate everybody hanging in there with us tonight as we go through our monthly Diva Diaries segment here. We're probably going to take it to about 9:40-ish tonight, so stay with us. Ain't nothing on TV that's better than listening to us
It's
tonight.
so
That's
ain't.
right.
You know what I mean?
I
So,
know
you
that's
know,
right.
whatever it is that you're doing, you know, DVR it and listen to us live so we can get these numbers as well.
That's right.
Ain't no how to step on Marcus J. All right. Who's up?
Well, I ain't get to
Carl.
answer the question before you cut me off because I'm ready to answer the
Man,
question.
answer the question.
Man, I was.
You know what? You are such a
Hold on,
bad.
hold
Yeah,
on,
man.
man.
You worse than Kevin Hart. You more turned up than that fool, man.
No, I do remember the
That's
question.
what he usually
He
does.
stay turned up.
I'm getting there's intimacy, but no physical. There's sex, but no emotional connection.
Well, the person is not emotionally available
They're not
for
emotionally
you.
available. Okay,
Right.
Is the
Maybe
sex
they've
good?
been through some, have some
Sex
trust
good?
issues.
Boys.
Is the sex good?
I didn't put that in the dynamic.
I'm going to throw that in the dynamic. If it's
let's-
sex is
let's
good,
just
I'm
say
staying.
sex
And when the
I'm
question comes back
I'm
up
staying.
next month,
I'm gonna stay.
you're not gonna remember your answer, just like earlier today.
No, I won't be here next
He's
month.
stalling. Just get to your point,
won't be
man.
here next
Can
month,
you get
see?
to your point?
I probably won't be back to May.
See how he stalled?
We gonna
I
get on
ain't
the
start. I
soccer
just said
field.
I'm staying if the sex
We
is
gonna
good.
do this on the soccer field.
Bring it. I got a bunch
So,
of
okay,
80-year-olds out there.
apparently in this scenario, you're not pursuing them for anything more than sex because
That's
they're
right.
emotionally unavailable.
Hey, we done
okay,
already had that. We done already had that.
answered
See,
my
he
question.
Is, he
Yeah.
is that guy that I'm
In a
moving on
roundabout
from.
way.
He is that guy.
Hey, there's no love. Okay, can we have sex?
He is that
Okay.
guy. Walk
Okay.
away.
I can't hate on that perspective.
For
I
real.
can
That's
understand
all
that.
right. That's me staying there in the picture.
Can you kick him in his mic?
Let's not
see
kick
why I can be
anyone
like
in
that.
their
Yes,
mic.
please let's not do that. I don't know that the insurance that we got on this room covers, kicked mics.
Mic insurance.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
What you think, Marcus J?
Well, I mean, I guess if you're not emotionally available, then they're going to be challenges.
Right.
They just are, and oftentimes, you get caught up in, those pheromones, or you get caught up in, feeling good,
Right.
and next thing you know, you already in. Everybody could say that they're strong, and I'm not going to allow this to happen, and all of this stuff. You could say all that. All that sounds real good and great and all that, but it doesn't take much for you to catch feelings, and once you catch feelings, you in. And it's going to take somebody to say, you know what, I can't even get down like this no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It whether it's him, it's her, him and him, her and her. You know what I'm saying? So my answer to that is, for me, I would have difficulty, but I would never say never.
Right.
Because I'm a passionate person. I'm somebody who, if I see something I like, then I usually take it personally. And so, I can't say that I would never be the person that got caught up. I can't
Right.
say that.
Well, let me ask you this, and other people can chime in. What do you think is like a sign that you're in this type of relationship where the person is emotionally unavailable? How do you know that you're in that type of situation?
Oh man,
So you know when to turn around if that's your decision.
It really does depend. It depends. Every situation is different. So there is no, blueprint for how this is or how this works. My guess is if you're dealing with someone whose behavior is inconsistent, there's got to be a reason for their behavior to be inconsistent, and it ain't just because they're a Gemini.
Right.
Which is what I am.
Wait a minute.
It ain't just because of that.
It could be that.
Well, maybe it could be. I'm moody as hell. So I came in today in a crappy mood, and the lights came on. I was like, yeah.
Right.
That's just that's how us Geminis roll. But as far as the relationship is concerned, it for me, if you're dealing with someone where you just don't know which them you're gonna get, there's some sort of emotional imbalance going on, and it's on you if you're gonna deal with it.
Right.
If you're gonna deal with it, then deal with it and shut up. If you're not gonna deal with it, then make a move.
Okay.
I think
What
when I
do you
start to
think?
carry the relationship myself, and I'm talking to myself, we have a problem.
Yeah.
When we are not focused and I'm the one that's focused, we have a problem.
Right.
So
Communication is definitely a piece of it.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Carlton Banks? Are you even listening to us?
All day, every day.
I'm gonna tell you what he thinks.
You trying to call somebody out?
She
Don't think I can't multitask
even tell,
and be in the conversation. Marcus has learned the hard way. I can multitask and be in the
I ain't learned that in
conversation.
the hard way. Don't be putting
You're
me in the middle
emotionally
of your discussion
unavailable
with
right
her.
now.
Hey,
look,
That's
man,
right.
You ain't got to
I'm
be
like
putting
that
me
all
in-
day.
You ain't got to put me in that. That's between y'all.
Yeah, but see, don't see. But he
Learn the hard
knows.
way.
I
What you mean he
multitask.
knows? Again, it ain't got nothing to do with me.
Well, she
Why
should
don't
know
you
from
handle your intimate relationship right there?
I'm emotionally unattached from her right now. Can't you tell?
It's over.
And I'm
It's
still
over.
able to answer the question. I can
It's
cut it all.
over.
Come on, man.
It's over now. I can treat you so bad, but as long as the booty's good, we can still do
Oh
this.
God, here we go, man. I tell you, never mind.
Hey man,
So you probably was always the emotional unavailable person versus the other person.
nope. I gave my heart every time.
Oh my goodness. I have a hard time believing that one.
Where's your heart? Where's your heart that you were giving it every time?
He's sitting on it. He's sitting on it. That's where it's at.
Just pass the
Shame
mic to
on
Miss
you.
Tony. She
You
has
know,
something
yeah.
to say, I
Yeah,
can tell.
Tony gonna
Because
kick
you
it.
just holding on to it.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody
She don't
that
even
type
want to
of
hold the mic. She
situation.
don't even want to hold the mic behind him now.
You're like, ooh.
You're repulsing the ladies over there, Carlton.
I am one who knows that I am in control of my happiness. So I am okay with setting timelines. of course, you want to have that communication. You talk to them. Not necessarily I'm going to tell them, well, you got to do September 3rd to get yourself together. Right. But if we have talked about it and, we are supposed to be working towards, or at least trying to kind of get through that. And I understand those things take time. But, like you said, if you feel like you're carrying the relationship, like, I'm only going to do that for so long.
Right.
And it's not going to be a really long time. So, because we are adults and, I get so tired of people using the excuses of, well, I didn't have a father growing up, so I don't know how to do this. And, I'm not affectionate because of this or that. We're adults. And by now you've seen how it's supposed to be.
Right.
So if you can't bring yourself to at least try to change, and if I'm not worth that to you,
right,
it's not a hard decision for me because it's not a hard decision for you.
Right. Well,
So.
Mr. Carlton Banks has his hand up. Oh, okay. Well, I will say this. If the person comes to you and at least says, I've been hurt, I've been through this, that, and the third, that's the beginning of a conversation.
Absolutely.
That may start the communication between you two and make you more emotionally connected.
Absolutely. But if 6 months in,
Right.
you
same
still,
thing.
yeah.
You about to get your
Probably
feelings hurt again.
Right, yeah, I'm not gonna keep doing that. It's a waste of time. And again, I think that I'm pretty smart, and I associate myself with people pretty smart and who are pretty smart. And if you don't know at this point in your life what you want to do, then Tony's not the one.
That's right. Okay. Well, let's move on from that topic. Thank you very much. You guys were very interesting with your comments and honest.
Ain't no half stepping with
appreciated
Marcus
that.
J. Everybody, before we move on and transition, I just want everybody to say peace to Carlton Banks. We're losing him right now. We're not going to have him for a while. He's got some engagements that will keep him from us for the foreseeable future, but he will be back later on this spring. So I just wanted to give him an opportunity to say whatever he wants to say.
I'm sorry.
I know I'm going to regret doing that. I know I'm going to regret giving him the mic and say whatever you want. But
I'm not going to talk about going to the bathroom. I'm not going to talk about cutting grass again.
we don't got time for a rant.
I am going to miss being in here for a couple of weeks. Again, I'll be coaching some kids, running up and down the soccer field, cheering. Hopefully won't pull my hamstring like I did last season and whatnot because my shoulder still ain't healed. But shout out to Legacy Internet Radio. Shout out to Jay Grizzy and the crew. Shout out to Enliven Radio. Enliven. Every time I hear it, I ain't gonna. I want to go. I really want to say in loving color. That's what I want to say every time I see it. That's what I want to do. I mean, I know you're over there.
You upset
radio.
the technical
Yeah,
director
I know.
of Legacy Internet Radio over there.
I still need to get in a clutch though, because I'm gonna ask him a few questions about his dread skins. Because he always taking a shot at me about my Cowboys when I'm not around and whatnot. So
Yeah, well, it's easy.
yeah, let's see. You know what? And we ain't gonna talk about your purple.
Aren't
though.
you leaving? Purple.
Yeah,
What purple?
yeah, that's right.
You don't even know your color.
She's wearing her
I
colors
know
right
she's wearing
now.
the colors, but I'm just being insulting, calling her a Ravens fan.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I get away with this million?
Nobody.
I
Gets
mean,
it.
really.
Nobody got it.
Anyway, as I was saying, I still want to see the tape on how I announced intimacy the last time. I will be emotionally detached for a little while, but I'll still be here in spirit because I can multitask. So honestly, I can.
You know how step on Marcus Jerry body. That was my man Carlton Banks.
And I still had more, but he cut me off.
Absolutely cut you off.
It's not time for a rant.
Absolutely. So all right, let's jump back into the diaries.